Greetings, everyone, to my students, to administrators, to anyone interested in becoming a business owner. Today, we're talking about how to write or create an LLC operating agreement. And guys, this comes along with a downloadable template and sample of a retail company operating agreement that you can actually get right on my site, podia.com. So let's dive right in. Okay, now I've got 13 steps, and that equals 13 sections for my operating agreement. It includes everything you need to have to operate internally, and so that every member that's involved in your organization will know what the expectations are and the policies and procedures are for the organization. As you can see, we're going to talk about specifically your information, your membership and ownership. Number 3, it's going to be how you manage the LLC. Number 4, your voting rules. 5, your profit and loss sharing. 6, your member duties and expectations. 7, your banking and finances. 8, adding or removing a member. 9, transferring ownership. 10, taxes. 11, dissolution. 12, your amendments. And 13, your signatures. And I have a downloadable, as I said earlier, a downloadable template that you can just fill in, as well as a sample of a fully created operating agreement. So let's first talk about what is an LLC. Well, LLC stands for Limited Liability Company. It exists as a separate legal entity from its owners or managers or members. They still run it, but legally it is the LLC and not the owners that own the business. So an LLC combines liability protection of a corporation, and it's also very simple for filing taxes also. So it protects your personal assets, which is really important, why people like to create LLCs. And it's good for people who want to start up and for small businesses. All right, section number 1 and step number 1, your LLC information. It records the basic details of the LLC, which includes the name of your business, its purpose, its address, the formation date and the state that you've been formed in, and who your registered agent and office is. It essentially identifies the company and establishes its legal existence. As you can see, I've put down what the fill-in template looks like for that specific section, and this structure will be implemented with every session, as you will know. Section 2, members and ownerships. What does it summarize? It lists all the members, their ownership percentages, and the capital contributions that they make, whether it's cash, property, or services. And you can list it as a table, which I suggest, or you can just summarize it in a paragraph. There's the section that I have for the template. As you can see, it defines who own the company and their financial stake in the company. Section 3, management of the LLC. Who is going to manage the company? Is it managed by its members or its owners? Or do you have a specific manager who manages the company outside of the owners? If it's manager managed, this section identifies who the manager is and what their duties are. When I say who, I don't mean a specific name, but their role and their responsibility, like a job description. And it defines who has authority to run the day-to-day operations, or whether it's a combination of the ownership and maybe an outside manager. It's however you want to set your company up. Okay, number 4, your voting rules. It outlines the voting procedures, including whether votes are based on ownership percentage or equal votes per member, and it sets the approval threshold for major decisions. And it also includes the checklist of actions that require special approval. As you will note in my fill-in template, here's what it looks like. you would check the box. Like votes are based on, you would check just one. If it's ownership percentage, you check that box. If it's just one member, one vote, you check that box. Is the voting required for major decisions? Is it going to be just a simple majority? You check that box. If you want it unanimous, of course, you would check unanimous. And down below where it says major decisions include, and then you check any one that applies. So a major decision could be contracts or just selling key business assets, but the rest of them don't apply and you just have them checked. And I would suggest on this particular number 4 that you have every member put their initials next to what was decided on number 4. And I also suggest that everybody initial every page of the agreement. I'll talk a little bit about that at the end. Number 5, profit and loss sharing. It explains how your profits and losses are allocated among the members. Usually it's proportional to the ownership unless there is a custom formula that you've chosen for yourself. It also specifies how often distributions are made. Are they monthly? Are they quarterly? Etc. All your expectations, as you can see, should be in this operating agreement, so there's no guessing about how things should happen or arguments that come about how things should happen. If you've got it outlined in your operating agreement, you just go to that agreement and whatever it says is what you do. Number 6, member duties and expectations. Members' responsibilities, how they support the business, what type of task is each one responsible for, and acting in the best interest of the LLC, involving any type of competition with the LLC. And the optional in this section can be assignment of the roles and responsibilities, and it could have something to do with the percentage of ownership. Again, your group sits down and makes the decision on which one of these applies. What I'm providing with you is the roadmap for incorporating it into your operating agreement. Number 7, banking and finances. It requires the LLC to maintain its own business bank account. It may prohibit the use of company funds for personal expenses. Financial statements must be made available to the members upon request. This is all that I have incorporated in this. If you agree with what I have, then you just go ahead and check the box when you download the document or create your own. You can create your own wording. I'm just helping you out, especially for your newbies, to have something, not have to figure out what you need to write. Number 8, adding or removing members. Yes, it defines voting requirements for adding someone or removing someone. And it explains how a departing member and how their buyout price will be determined using the fair market value, book value, a set value, or another agreed upon method. I have down there the options where it says departing member buyout price will be based on. You check which one. Yeah, this is important, guys. 9, transfer of ownership. It states that members cannot transfer their ownership interests in the company without some type of approval, whether it's unanimous or in the majority. This is an important actual section because you don't want someone to wake up one day and say, hey, I'm turning my portion of the business over to my Aunt Mary. No, there has to be a process, guys. And I've got it all written in here. You don't have to create the wording. I've got it right here for you. Section number 10, tax treatment and summary. It specifies how the LLC will be taxed, and you can decide how you want to do it. Do you want to have a partnership type of taxes? There are different forms from the IRS depending on what type of tax treatment, and you can establish. That's a good thing about an LLC. Which one? Do you want to be established as a sole proprietorship if it's just one of you, as an S corporation, a C corporation? And I will be talking about the different type of corporations in another video, so you can understand what the differences are and what the tax requirements are with each one, so that you can make an educated decision. Number 11, dissolution. It describes the conditions under which the LLC may dissolve itself, such as a vote to dissolve or inability to continue operations. And after dissolution, your debts are paid first, and then the remaining assets, after you've paid everyone you owe, they're distributed based, of course, on your ownership percentages. That's how I have it operated. That's how I've written it. You want to do it differently, come up with your own wording, that's fine. Number 12 is the amendments section. It explains how changes to the operating agreement can be made. Amendments require either a majority vote or unanimous approval, depending on what's selected. As you can see at the bottom, it shows what I have in the filling template, and you would just check whichever one applied for your organization. Just go down and check whether it's majority or unanimous. Simple, isn't it? And number 13 are your signatures. This section's where members sign to indicate they agree with the terms of the operating agreement. What I also suggest for all agreements, all contracts, anytime you sign a contract or an agreement for anything, everyone should initial each page. If it's more than one page, your initials should be on there. Now you're saying, well, why? Now think about that. Because someone could take that last page and say that you agreed with everything on there, and maybe you didn't. Or maybe you can say, well, I didn't agree to page 1. They just said that I agreed with it. But if your initials and everyone's initials is on each page, that means they've agreed with the entirety of the actual document. Very important. And I also suggest notarized. Everyone going in, have a notary page where each person signs it. And my final thoughts are this. An operating agreement is a legally binding contract. That's what everyone needs to understand. It outlines the management structure of the company and establishes the rules for how the company will be run. It's an internal document, not something for everyone to see on the outside. That would be your articles of incorporation or articles of organization. They're the documents that you can show to the public. It controls the relationship among the members of a company. This document establishes necessary rules for operating in what I call an orderly and successful manner. You have less problems if you can go to that document to resolve any type of conflicts. Also, a carefully drafted operating agreement should always address the aspects of the company that are important to its members and should be drafted to fit each company's unique needs. That's why you will see in my particular fill-in document, I have choices where you can just check which one applies to you. And lastly, guys, take time to sit down, draft all your needs, talk about what you expect from each other, from the company, how you treat the public, etc. And then you look at my document and you can say, okay, this is where we want to just keep her wording, but let's change this particular wording. This is something for people to have so that you don't have to sit down and look at a blank piece of paper and say, okay, where do I start with an operating agreement? I'm providing that all for you guys. And when I can help you, I help myself. It makes me feel good about myself. Okay, so here's the address where you can go get the template. It's a very small fee compared to what you would be charged for the same items. Hundreds of dollars that some attorneys charge you for this type of a template. But you'll see that it's very minimal and very valuable. And here's the information about the in-person online classes, and everything's on the website. And any questions, even an email address. This is WC Ballard checking out.